After years of waiting, endless memes, and more speculation than we probably care to admit, Hollow Knight Silksong is finally here. For a long time, it felt like one of those games that might never actually release a legend we talked about more than we played. And yet, here we are. Hornet's story has arrived, it's playable across all platforms, it's on Game Pass, and the gaming community has been absolutely electrified. Today, I just wanted to come here and just briefly talk about my first impressions on Silksong as a game, and let me tell you, I have been loving it. I've been engaged every step of the way. I definitely am going to do multiple playthroughs, which is something I rarely do nowadays. I will talk about how this launch unfolded, what makes Silksong stand out from the original Hollow Knight, and why this release is more than just another sequel. I'll keep things mostly spoiler-free, focusing on the experience, the design, and the bigger picture of what this means for both players and the industry. So let's dive in. Let's start with the obvious, the launch day itself. The moment the clock hit release time, Steam practically collapsed. Storefronts wouldn't load, error screens popped up, and even GOG and the Nintendo eShop were buckling under the pressure. The Xbox Store was no exception. It also faltered and PlayStation was unclear, but reports suggest it too faced issues. For several minutes, Silksong quite literally broke the digital marketplace. It's rare to see a game, especially an indie title, to cause this level of disruption. But when you've been the most wishlisted game on Steam for years, this was almost inevitable. At its peak, SteamDB showed over 500,000 concurrent players, and that's not counting Xbox, Switch, PlayStation, or Game Pass users. It's safe to say the delays, the memes, the hype, they weren't for nothing. The community's patience paid off, and Team Cherry's sequel came out swinging. Jumping into Silksong for the first time is both surreal and comforting. You step into Pharloom, a cursed kingdom filled with danger, mystery, and strange beauty. Hornet, captured and brought here for reasons that remain unclear, is thrust into a journey toward the Citadel. That setup alone creates a sense of purpose, but the game doesn't waste time reminding you that you're on your own, figuring things out, carving your own path upward. However, that feeling of wonder and experiencing it together with everyone else is genuine. Not knowing what awaits around every corner is something that carries over from Hollow Knight. Aside from her determination and chivalry, Hornet is very much a blank slate. Armed with only a needle, no compass, no map, she doesn't even have a quill for noting down new areas. It can be uncomfortable in the early goings, especially with the sheer buffet of threats. But thankfully, a warrior cartographer by the name of Chakra can import those tools immediately. That's only the beginning though, as every new location means acquiring a new map. The best, most exciting, scary part. You still have no idea what to expect. Those traverse corridors don't tell the whole story, nor do they indicate how all these locations tie together and back again, and that's only the first few hours. There are so many colorful characters to interact with. From the Flea Master Caravan with their greetings, to the mischievous thieving Grindel or Sherma, who's playfully making music even as his fellow bugs lose their minds. Chakra was a favorite based on design alone, but her backstory and interactions with Hornet are sublime. I would be lying if I said one of the biggest reasons for venturing into new areas wasn't to follow her mesmerizing singing and see if she has any insights. Of course, that doesn't account for the sheer number of side quests known as wishes, which encourage revisiting previous areas and venturing into the unknown alike, or the new tools that can be forged for the new offensive and defensive capabilities, or even the various crests, which alter movesets and loadouts alike, or the various fleas that lie in wait to be rescued, or all the new lines that NPCs utter whenever I revisit locations. I know I'm only a few hours in, but they feel like they've passed in the blink of an eye. Things are already so compelling on the surface level, and I can't wait to see how much more intricate and involved they become. 10, 20, 30 hours in, maybe more, because no one knows just how big Silksong is, which is another exciting prospect. All the excitement and hype drove players to bring the various storefronts to their knees, both because the wait has been so long and Hollow Knight is so beloved, but it's the nature of Silksong that has so many currently glued to their screens, plunging into its depths and heights to solve its mysteries. What is this curse enveloping Pharloom? Should I go back to the Forged Daughter and make some new offensive tools, or save them for purchasing any maps that may come up? Which crest is my favorite? Because I don't have a ton of memory lockets for upgrading all of them? Should I go back to Bone Bottom and see if there's any requests, investigate a mystery or two, or continue my ascent to the Citadel? What is the significance of all those massive locked doors? It's really an endless thought process, but it never feels overwhelming. Despite how different Pharloom is from Hollow Nest, there's this distinctive feeling of returning home. As with Hollow Knight, Silksong thrives on its characters. Pharloom isn't just populated with enemies, it's full of memorable personalities that breathe life into the setting. The mischievous Grindel, the musical Sherma, the intriguing Chakra, each one is more than just flavor text. They enrich the story and make exploration rewarding. Side quests, now framed as wishes, are another big draw. Unlike filler tasks in many modern games, These quests encourage revisiting areas, exploring uncharted routes, and deepening your connection to the world. And then there are the fleas to rescue, the crests that shift Hornet's moveset, and the sheer variety of combat tools you can forge. Every new discovery feels like progress, not busy work. Now, let's talk about the gameplay, the meat of Silksong. Compared to Hollow Knight, Silksong ramps up the difficulty in interesting ways. Normal enemies scattered around the map hit harder, react faster, and force you to stay on your toes. Bosses, on the other hand, are just a bit tougher than before, but not insurmountable, especially if you've already put hundreds of hours into the first game. For me, most bosses so far have taken 3 to 4 tries. That feels fair. It rewards learning patterns without veering into frustration. But make no mistake, Silksong doesn't hold your hand. Areas like Greymoor, with its relentless enemies, can feel like a gauntlet. If you thought primal aspids were bad, brace yourself. Where the community will likely debate things is in the equipment system. Hollow Knight's charms were widely loved for their simplicity and flexibility. Silksong shifts to crests and tools, which change Hornet's combat fundamentals in unique ways. The system is more restrictive and takes some getting used to, but there's clear innovation here. It may not immediately feel as intuitive as charms, but the potential for customization is still exciting. Silksong isn't just about gameplay, it's about immersion. The art direction is stunning, even more refined than Hollow Knight's. Pharloom feels distinct, but it also channels the same sense of mystery and beauty that made the original unforgettable. The sound design deserves its own spotlight. Small details like distant echoes, the creak of structures, or the hiss of unseen enemies make the world feel tangible. At one point, I actually took off my headset because I thought a sound was coming from my room. That level of realism is rare. And then there's the music. The orchestration leans heavily on strings and creates a haunting, emotional atmosphere. Each area has its own mood, and it lingers with you even after you've stopped playing. This is a soundtrack you'll want to revisit long after the credits roll. We also need to talk about the price. Silksong launched at just $20. In today's gaming landscape, where $70 price tags are the norm, this almost feels unreal. Team Cherry delivered a massive, highly polished game at a price that makes it accessible to nearly everyone. This isn't just generosity, it's a statement. It challenges the assumption that games need inflated prices to succeed. Silksong proves that quality and word of mouth can drive massive success without exploiting players' wallets. It also highlights the difference between indie studios and AAA publishers. Where big studios cut corners or release half-finished products, Team Cherry spent years refining every detail. The result isn't just a great game, it's a reminder of what passionate development can achieve. Part of Silksong's magic is the community around it. 6 years of anticipation built a unique atmosphere, from memes like Clown Knight to fans spamming Silksong when. During every Nintendo Direct, this game became more than just a release. It became a cultural event. Now that it's here, the question shifts. How long will it hold us? Early impressions suggest it's huge. With dozens of areas, countless secrets, and a side quest system designed to pull you back in, Silksong isn't a one-and-done experience. It's the kind of game you'll sink dozens of hours into, with plenty of reasons to replay. The unknown's locked doors, cryptic characters, unanswered lore fuel that curiosity. It's not just about reaching the Citadel, it's about everything you uncover on the way there. So, was the wait worth it? Absolutely. Silksong isn't just living up to expectations. In many ways, it's redefining them. From its chaotic launch to its intricate world design, its refined combat to its breathtaking presentation, this is more than just a sequel. It's proof that passion and patience can produce something truly special. But now, I want to hear from you. How has your journey in Pharloom been so far? Do you prefer the new systems, or do you miss the simplicity of Hollow Knight's charms? And what's been your favorite moment or area so far? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives, drop a like if this helped you, and hit the bell so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.